this computer, screen share. Let's do this one. Okay, so just going over kind of what we're gonna look at to give you guys an overview. If you know a lot of this stuff, bear with me, work on your project as we go. If not, I hope you learned something. And then as I go through and we're done, like if you guys think of any questions as we're going through, or if you just missed something I did, just raise your hand, be like, hey, could you repeat that? Could you redo that? That's good with me. So when you open up Revit, you'll open up, oh, not existing. You'll open up a new project. We talked about an architectural template in Imperial, not metric. And you'll get to this blank screen. Show of hands, how many people have started their project in Revit already? Or does everyone's look like this? Sweet, awesome. Okay, cool. So you guys kind of have a model you're looking at right now. Great. So the first thing is like setting the scale. Anytime you go in and edit, you'll set the scale down here in the bottom left corner. I think I have, these are all listed on the project, but I have them on a sticky note so I can reference them. I believe drawing 1 is the floor plan, which we'll set at 3/8. Seems small to me. In the first class, I think I said like, oh, you can do whatever cabin you want. Did everyone read the project brief? You cannot do that. I gave you guys false information. I'm really sorry. We're basically copying the one on the project sheet. Super simple. You already have the elevations. And I'll go through how to set that up like right now, like the exact dimensions and everything. I'm really sorry if I stirred anyone wrong that way. My apologies. So we'll just set up your classic floor. You can go up to, that's really unfortunate. It's like all up in the thing. Can I move that? Green arrow bar. This guy? Genius, thank you. Okay. Then it covers the bottom. We'll just switch back and forth. Okay, just you have a lot of different ways to draw in Revit. So you can kind of explore these, whether you're doing a curve, straight line, you can always just do, oh gosh, here we go. Okay. Draw like this. There's your box. You can also do like that. Or if for some crazy reason you want a circle, which we're not doing. So I'll just get those. A thing I'll always do is I'll click on one of the sides and it'll give me the measurement right here. And you can just go in and your length for this cabin is going to be 34 feet. Enter, 34 feet. The bottom, I think it's 17. Whoop. So you'll have to click on the dimension, but you put 17 in, it'll give you your dimensions, saves you a ton of time. And then I've got a floor. Cool. I also like to have the 3D view on as I make things to like reference back and forth what I'm drawing and what it actually looks like. So I'll toggle between like, oh, look, there's my floor, and then my floor plan. And sometimes it's easier to grab things in 2 different views when you're looking at it. The next thing is you'll see these little guys hanging out on the sides. Waiting. No, you're good. I confused everyone with the location. You'll have your elevations throughout. You can double click on them and it'll take you to an elevation view. You can also move these guys closer, I believe. Yeah. So if you want them to actually be in your sheet, whenever you put it in, you move them closer. Boom. Boom. La-da-dee, la-da-da. Okay. And then next is like setting levels. So you can, I figured this out last night because I was having trouble. You can only set your levels in an elevation. It doesn't like when you try to set it in 3D. It's like, I don't know what plane you're talking about. I don't know where to put this. But right now it comes with the custom level 2, level 1. Level 1 is your base floor, but say you want to call out like the actual ground, you can either hold Alt. Nope, just kidding. Hold Control. Yep, you can hold Control and make another one, or you can right click, create similar, and draw one. Yes.
What is the name
Levels are grayed out. Let me see. Oh, because you're still working. So anytime you have that pink line when you're drawing a floor, you're technically just working on that floor, and it won't let you do anything else until you finish. So once you draw your square, press the check, and it'll make your floor. Yes. So, deleted. That's okay. So I'll put this at like quote unquote the ground height. Say it's there. You can also always like, this isn't great to turn in if things are like overlapping. So you can always like move things out to make things clear. And then, can I remember how to do this? You can add an elbow to your levels. Just kind of like you do for annotations, and like move things around. I don't know, but so you will this little guy, so you've got a circle right here, and that's to like move him left and right, and then there's a little bitty, it looks like a lightning bolt in here. You'll click that and it'll like break it. Sweet. Move this back. And you usually just line all your levels up in a row, you know, easy to read. Any questions so far? How's this pace? Am I going fast? Cool, okay. We'll go back to level 1 and we can do our walls. I kind of, oh, this is a good thing to know. So anytime you draw something, make something, and it's done, you'll click on it. You can go over to your properties. Your properties is this top chaotic looking Excel sheet. You can change what kind of floor you have. These are pre-loaded in floors. So I always go with generic, just because when you start getting into like the detailed stuff, it's kind of better when you're designing to like go with massing. And then when you get really good at REVIT, you can be like, oh, I'm gonna detail the floor and like put the wood in and the concrete and the insulation. And you can do all of that in REVIT, but we're not gonna get into that today. So I would just do a generic slab. I think 12 inches is a little big. So say I want to change it. I'm like, you know what? You're not giving me an 8-inch slab. I want to do a different one. I'll edit the type of floor I have in there now, which is this guy right here. And I'll duplicate it, because if I edit the one in here now, it's going to change that one. Say I want it again one day, it's going to override it. So I'm going to duplicate it. I'll change it to generic 8-inch slab. Great. And then, can I remember how to do this? You'll go to edit the structure, and you've got this thickness right here. You can change that thickness to anything you want. So let's do 8 inches. Okay. Okay. Boom. And now you go back in 3D, it's a little bit smaller. Crazy.
You go into 3D beauty.
Oh, sorry, yeah, to go into 3D, no, it was in the beginning. It's this little house up here. At the top. It's like a view setting, and I'll just toggle between these tabs. At the top, you can open as many views as you want, and then go in between. Yeah, and please ask questions, because sometimes I've been working in the software for a while, and sometimes I do things like I'll even like do a control thing on the keyboard and I forget to communicate it. So if you're confused, you're not the only one. I probably just missed something. Cool. All right, let's draw some walls. The walls, so architectures, should probably go over the tabs too, but you kind of just learn as you go. There's walls, doors, windows, roofs, and those are kind of what we're going to use to mask this thing. If I want to draw just a generic 8-inch wall, you've also got all these different kind of walls you can do, but we're just doing the exterior. So let's see, I can do 8 inches, but it's going to be a little bit thick. We can also go over like how thick you guys want to make your walls. I think in the project description, it has a link to the energy codes, and that's kind of where you decide how thick your wall is going to be based on the insulation you put inside of it. We can go over that as well. I'll do 8 inches just for generics. Another cool thing, so say I've got a rectangle, easy. You can just put it in like this. The align tool is my favorite. The shortcut for it is AL, but let me see if I can find it. Align, okay, it's right here. It's this little graph looking guy. You'll click that and you can click on a line or a face, and any other thing you click on, it'll click it to that. So this saves a ton of time as well. Can everyone find that tool? Is anyone missing it? Okay. So I can just click, 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 click. Great.
What's the version that the dimensions on this? I'm only seeing the older one.
With the dimensions for the building.
Right.
Yeah.
The one I used to see.
Okay, so it doesn't have the dimensions. Let me see.
Sorry, this is-
No. We can totally ask questions, because you're, like I said, probably someone else has it too. Go to please. All right. Do you have Canvas open? Oh, no, okay. So I have the scales listed out on the sticky note. You can take a picture of that if you want, and I will update that project sheet so that these are on it. I'll make a note to do that. Because I thought someone updated, but that's weird. It's not coming up on yours. All right. It is? Huh, I wonder why yours isn't updated. All right. Making our way back. Yeah. Yes. Okay, let's see. So, have you started setting up sheets yet? Like putting drawings in sheets? So this is a cool thing about Revit, is that once you put them in the sheets, like whenever you're almost done, it's gonna tag it for you. So if I want to look at, say, this facade wall right here, also my walls are really high. I will, so you'll see like down here, all of your views are in this one. So we've got properties, views. That's what these sides are. And then we're looking at the east elevation right here. So whenever I set up a sheet, so whenever we print all these things out, we want them all to be on sheets. You can just right click sheets, go to new sheet. And then I need to load the sheet that Sami made for us in. Have you guys seen this title block that's in the canvas? Okay, she's made, let's go over that. There's so many things to go over. Okay. All right, let me put a roof on this so it looks like something, and then we will load in sheets. Okay, another cool thing you can do with the levels that you made is say I want all my walls to stop at level 2. Like right now I have a tower. I can select the walls, go in here to top constraint and do level 2 and it'll pop it down. So that's the nice thing about levels is as I change this guy, say up and down, it'll stretch and compact my walls. Cool. Then we'll do a roof and we can put this thing on a sheet. So I'll do architectural roof. Do the other square thing. Okay. Now I'm I'm making basically right now each line has that little slope by it. That's like defining the roof slope. If I don't want it to do that, like, okay, say I would just make the roof like this. Poof, chaos. But you see that every single one of them has a slope every side. If I don't want that, I'll double click in here. And I guess I'm in 3D. Let's go back to here. You can select the ones you don't want by holding Control and clicking. Click, click, click. And then this little button up here says Define Slope. You can just unclick that. And then only this back wall will have a slope to it, which means it looks more like this. And it's intersecting the building. So I can change that intersection by going to base level over here and changing that to level 2. That's going to throw it up in the air. I believe you guys have a defined slope for, I don't believe, I know you guys have a defined slope for the roof. So if I want to go and input that slope, I can double click on the roof to edit it, click on that slope line, and then you'll see right in here, it has the slope identified. I think I have yours at 412. 94. Cool. We got a floating roof. Is anyone lost? I have questions. Yeah.
Can you do how you take the slopes like off the ledge?
Yes. Yeah. So if you double click, like you're going to edit that boundary, you click on one of the lines and this little box up here says define slope. If you click it, it'll put it back. If you unclick it, it'll take it off. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. There's so many things that are like unique to Revit. The walls. Okay, so this is my favorite part also. There's like so many shortcuts to things. So say I want, like you said, all my walls to hit the roof. I can select them all. So go in, hold Control, select, select, select. And then if I go to 3D, so I can see all my walls selected, and I right click on the roof. No, hang on. How did I do this before? Oh, okay, there we go. Attach top/base up here on the right side, and then I'll click on the roof, and it'll.
do you know, like, how high do you want that?
It, I don't think it does. I know that your overhang though, if we like go to edit the boundary of the roof and we go to the overhang, this is supposed to be further, like your porch needs a bigger overhang, but I don't think there is a height constraint as long as it is like reasonable, yeah. Another cool thing, like say I want the distance from the front of my roof here to the wall.
Yeah.
I can like see this crazy number. That's terrifying. So I'll take this little dot. And so right now it's going to the center line of the wall. Another cool thing you can do is like if you tab, you can tab to different things you're highlighting of like what you want to click on. So I want to go to the exterior of the wall. So I'll drop it there. Right now it's this insane number, but I just want it to be 4 feet. Done. Yeah.
This is for the overhang that you're changing?
Yes, yeah. So what else? While we're doing that, I'll do it like one more time for each. So this is also a crazy number. Let's tab to the outside of the wall, drop it, and make it 2 feet. Same thing with this one. Tab, 2 feet. And then let's also make this one 2 feet. So we got 2 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot, 4 foot. Yeah. Sweet. All right, now we have this little cute box. Mhm. No, I love it. Keep going. Yeah, so here I just did, I think this is adjustable. So like if you do 2 versus 3, I'm not going to take off points. Like that doesn't really matter. It's more that you're detailing everything correctly, but I do like a 2 foot to 1 foot overhang. 2 might be a little bit much. I would do between 2 and 1. And then you asked how. So you see this little guy right here, whenever you click on the line, you can change this to like, if I wanted it to be a certain distance from the front, I could do that. If I want it to be a certain distance from there, I can, but I want it to be exactly from the outside of the exterior wall, which is this line. And you get there by tabbing. So you've got like a tab button on your keyboard. You got it? Yeah, okay. And then you can just change that number and it'll adjust that line. Is there a question over here? Cool. Good. Awesome. Cool. Anybody else? Question? All right. I'm jumping all around. Set levels, we drew walls. Okay, plan section elevation. So I've got basically a pretty standard plan. You could draw this in your sleep. It's located in my views right here, and I can change this to like whatever I want just by right clicking and renaming a new floor plan. Great. Yes. Should we do, I'll do sheets now. Yeah. So whenever, after you've drawn all of your different pieces, you'll set up your sheets. And you can make one by simply right clicking, doing new sheet. And the generic one loaded in is huge. This is like a full architectural drawing sheet. So does everybody have Canvas open? Because I can show you guys how to load in Sami's title block. So let's do that. I'm going to the course. files. Let's see, projects, project 1. Resources. Okay, Sami has hooked y'all up with so many resources in here that you can download and put into Revit. Your title blocks in here. We've got different layers, different hatch patterns, and we can go over how to load that stuff in. So let's see. Where did she put the title block? Text references? No. Drawing conventions? No. If anybody else sees the title block, let me know. Oh, I bet it's Revit families. Annotation symbols? Yes, okay, title block. So we've got, if you follow this direction at the top, you go to files, bless you, projects, project 1, resources, Revit families, annotation symbols. This is the title block that Sami did it. Sami made for you guys. And you'll download it. Simple. Then open it in Revit once it's downloaded. I think it might be a later version, so you can upgrade the model. Anytime you bring anything into Revit, it might ask you to update it. You can always click yes, it doesn't really change much. No, why? Is it gonna?
Well, it was 21.
Okay. Oh.
So I'll tell you.
Okay. Yeah. Let me know if it comes through. I think you can also update if you.
Well, if they're old, it's fine. Just stay with it. But if it's Revit's not backwards.
Right, but maybe you could update to 23
Oh,
or 20. Yeah, and that might help in case just future problem solving. So you can go in and change all of this stuff to your name just by double clicking, like a text box. Do Sami Spoon. Great. And then okay, I'm in here. I want to load. So right now you'll see that like the screen looks a little bit different than a usual Revit screen. And it's because I'm in a family right now versus a project, which is a whole nother fun thing to talk about, but we won't go into that today. But the simple thing to do is once I open it, I can load it into my project up here. And this will give me this component in my project. So I'll load it in. Oh, can't create this kind of element in this view. That's okay. All right. So now it's in my project. When I go to sheets, say I want to do a new sheet. Oh my gosh, look, there it is. Did I go too fast? We're tracking. Okay. So you got the 11 by 17 title block. Okay. Boom. Awesome.
When you put sheets, how did you like open the?
Down here. These guys, like how to open a new one.
Yeah, it didn't give me like the drop down.
Okay, so if you right click on sheets, it's probably because you don't have one open yet. And you can go up and it'll say new sheet at the top.
Oh, and then do I just select the,
Yep, and then you'll pull in, if you already have the 11 by 17 open, you just select that one, hit OK. I made another one. Cool. So this is where you're gonna put all 10 drawings. So you should have 10 different sheets that have all the drawings to scale that match the project description. Cool. Awesome. So then going back to your question from a while ago, how do I, it was how to put it into from an elevation you wanted in a sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Going way back. All right, here we go. So I can go to my elevations, which is down here. We've got floor plans, ceiling plans, elevations. Say I want to put the east elevation in first. I can just drag and drop it. And that'll put it in the sheet. So this is starting to look like maybe an architectural drawing. Obviously it's very large. I can change, wait, let me escape. Get out of there. They're not compatible. All right, either, yeah, you might need to upgrade your guy. Let's see, can I remember how to do this? All right, but to answer your question, once you drop it in here and you go back to floor plan, this is gonna call out where that drawing is automatically, which is really nice. So it'll have everything linked. All right, where do we go? It's like muscle memory trying to remember. I'm trying to remember how to crop this down. Oh, you know what it is? Psh, silly. Okay, so obviously my level lines are stretched out really far. I can move these in to a much more tangible distance. Like so. And then this is going to be what calls out my drawing. So whenever you guys submit them in, I know which drawing is which. This is going to be, not yet. Okay, this is another weird thing. If I want to edit this, I have to click on the drawing and then I can go in and edit this. It's just a finicky thing. So make sure anytime you want to edit this label, you click on your drawing first and then go in. Put east elevation. Then if I want to move it to go directly underneath my drawing to line everything up, you'll see that little dot right next to it, just like we edit with levels. And we can move that to line things up. Usually you line up that line with the outside of your drawing, so everything's compact. And then professionally, I always counted like from the bottom right corner up, but you don't have to do that. You can put these drawings in, just put them in order. So if this is number 1, put number 1 first, then 2, 3, 4. Which way you count doesn't matter. Okay. Cool. All right, you want to do a section? That'd be crazy. All right. So where am I? All right, to do a section, you'll go to view. There's a little section guy right here. To draw it, you can just click, and it'll cut a section. The way the section works should look familiar. You've got the circle, you can move up and down like this. This is a cool dotted line, that's your view. So if I go into this section by double clicking here, I can change the view here to be able to see more, to see the whole roof. But also, let me go back. Ooh, too many things. Also, I can change like how far I see. So say I don't want to see this back wall in my section, I can just move this. And I'm like, oh, now I can't see it anymore. Then go to the section. Well, I guess it looks the same either way, but that's just a fun thing. If you like put furniture in there or something and then you don't want to see it, you can move that viewpoint.
Where do you just add a section?
No, you're good. Floor plan. Okay, you'll go to view, that top tab up here, and then the section is right there. It's also right next to the call out, which we can go over next. That's a great one as well. But yes. Well, I'll do call out next. So you'll do sections, elevations, and then if you're calling out details, like I know you guys have to do a window jamb, a corner detail, all of this stuff, we use this call out. And if I just do the corner right now, I can just stretch it, call out that corner, and then as soon as I put it in a sheet, it'll fill in those numbers. So then if I double click, oh no. If I double click here, it'll zoom into that corner for me and I can start detailing where I want studs, insulation, all that good stuff. All right, you want to put some windows and doors in here? It's a rhetorical question, of course you do. Components. Okay, there's so many things. Components is cool. So this is where you can literally bring anything in. REVIT City is a really cool website to know. It makes components for you that you can download and throw in. So if you've ever used, oh gosh, SketchUp or I'm not super familiar with Rhino, but you know you can like bring a family from online and bring it in. Same thing with this. So say, all right, we've got a desk, we've got a parking space, we've got trees, nothing that we need basically. So, oh, but then you can also, this is a tricky thing. So you also do like categories of doors and that'll bring up a whole nother piece of components. So I do have some doors in here preloaded. This is all under the architecture tab, by the way. You've got the windows, those are preloaded in, different ones. I believe we gave you guys the components though already we wanted you to use in the Canvas site. So let me go back. Revit families, annotation symbols. Oh, look, windows and doors. All right. So these are different ones we've put in that you guys can use. You load these in the same way we did the title block. So let's do the first one. Download. It's going to come in a zip file. Gonna upgrade the model. But this one's from 2015, so you should be able to load that in. Yeah. And then load into project. If you have multiple projects open, you can load into different ones. I still have that title block open, so it's asking, do you want to put this in the title block? No, I don't. I want to put it in project block. And then literally just click on the wall and it'll throw in a window at you wherever you want it. I believe we are matching that elevation. So let's go to the south elevation. And you can go to any of these elevations just by clicking on the arrow and it'll throw up what we're doing. This window doesn't really match the one that matches the elevation. So what I'm gonna do is you can also like put in pictures into Revit to directly reference and trace basically. So if I wanna like throw in the elevation in here from the project description, I can do that. Just, I think it's Is it in here, reference photo? Crazy. Okay, so I already had this downloaded, but this reference photo is in Canvas as well. And you can scale it to like the size of your building. Another good thing, which I didn't do, was every time you go into a new view, you need to make sure that scale is correct based on the project. So right now, I think my scale is off. Does anybody know offhand what the elevation scale is? Does anyone have that project sheet open? I forget which one is which. Do I have it open? This is the rubric. Oh, I have it open. Roof plan section. Does it not have your elevations listed in here?
So, I mean, it has the scale for the drawings, but
Mhm.
is there any version of it that has like dimensions of the actual building?
That is just up here in the description. So 34 wide, 17 deep, roof slope, and then your overhang. Okay. Do y'all need to take a break? Do y'all want to walk around? I think class is like almost done. How long do y'all go to? I don't even know. What is it? 8:30, 9:30, 9:40? It's 9:50, huh? Yeah, thank you. Y'all are like, yeah, let's get out of here. She doesn't know. Yeah, y'all are welcome to leave at any time, and I can go over stuff. I don't know why the elevation though isn't listed in here. That's frustrating. All right, I'm gonna do it like section, which is 1/2 to 1, and see what happens there. So you can change the scale, like I said, down here. 1/2 inch to 1. That's huge. It should be, let's see, go to, I want to say resources, detail examples. Oof, no. Is it also drawing conditions? This is a great question.
You can just look it up in the like search bar, you can just look up reference for
What? That's incredible. Okay, what was it called? You found it? Great.
Did you just, send it to
Oh, boom. Yeah, thank you for that. I didn't know you could do that either. All right. So this, I thought so, but now I'm second guessing everything. Where did the rubric go? Okay, so you don't have to draw elevations. It's not in here either. All right, less drawings. Okay. I'll go over this anyway, though, because if you want to scale a picture that you pull in, it's important that if you're tracing it, those scales match up. So a detail line, we'll go over this whenever you go into details in your section pieces. but a detail line is going to be an annotate. And this is basically like you turn into AutoCAD mode and you're just drawing in 2D on one plane. So your detail lines are here. I can change the width of the line in line styles. We'll do wide lines for right now, just so you can see. And then you'll see that we put like, oh, we want the door to be 3 feet. So I'll draw a line that's 3 feet. Also, as you're drawing, you can like type in your dimensions like AutoCAD. So I almost scaled this pretty well. That's very rare. But that line, I want those 2 lines to match. So I'll just make this a little bit smaller. A little bit more. A little bit more. And then, okay, that's pretty good. 3 feet, 3 feet. So now I can directly reference as I do things. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna pull in some more families from the Canvas site. So I'm gonna do the handy dandy search. REVIT. I do REVIT now. Oh, can't spell. All right, we're just gonna find it like this. REVIT families, windows and doors. Let's try this one. And I think you can open all of these, download them, and then kind of pick which ones you want. Oh no. This one must have a lot of windows and doors because it's taking a while. Okay, yeah, this one has a ton. So if I go into 3D, you guys can like play through all of these different components later, but it has them like all lined out in a wall for you with the names, which is awesome. So I think in our elevation, we have 2 double doors. I load this in this way, which bear with me here and pay attention because you might lose me. Just tell me if you lose me. I double click on the doors like I'm gonna edit them, and then I'll load them into the project up here. And I'll pick, so now I have a lot of things open. I wanna make sure I load it into project 1. And I'll do that here. Does that make sense? It was actually less complicated than I thought it was gonna be. That's actually crazy. So whenever you load a component in, you can always go back and find it, but usually it'll be already in your hand. But if it's not, you can go to architecture, doors, and it should be added into your families. So now I've got, oh, you even get different colors. Cool. So I've got all of these different added new doors. Cool. I can also do that awesome tool where if I want it to be a certain distance from this wall, I just tab, and then I can tab to right there and make this, say, 5 feet, and it'll drag it over. Bless you. Cool. Any questions there?
Not exactly that, but my lines and like, significantly different.
Okay, that's a great question. So then, okay, this is blocking. We're gonna swap this again. Down here, these guys, you don't need all of them, but there's some cool ones in there. So we've got your scale right here. We've got your line weight. So I think right now I'm on medium. If I go to my floor plan, you can change that to fine detail. You can also change it to coarse. Then another thing that might be doing it is your scale might be different. So if I say I have this scale at, you know, a much larger scale, that's correct. Sometimes it'll change line weights there, or okay. And another thing is so if you're, can I see your screen for a second to see? I have a T outline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like shortcuts. So as you learn Revit, you'll start to learn these shortcuts like AL for a line, TL for like thin lines. So anytime you're working in detail and things are thick and you can't see what you're doing, you can always type TL and it'll like really simplify the drawing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go back to that. Now I have too many tabs open. I'm gonna go back to the window family I loaded in. Let's see. Can I use these guys as clear stories? Let me close some of these. This is chaos. Okay. Look a little different. Okay. I am gonna see, I think they're probably in another family in that package that Sami put. Just for time purposes, I won't go and dig through, but I can do it right after in between classes and send you guys the link if so. Also, do y'all get the announcements that people post on the Canvas site? Is that a good way to contact you guys, or is it better to, y'all do? Okay, cool. But yeah, once you load those windows in, if you want to change the height of them, I would always change it in elevations. It's my south elevation. So this is obviously not a clear story window, but I can change the height just by literally moving it around. So metaphorically, we could do that and put it in and line it up with the same details. Doors will not leave the ground. Fun fact, they like to stay there. Okay. I can go over like, let's see, detailing. So we've got putting things in sheets. We've got how to make your sheets. This is the very generic building. You can work in sheets if you want. You just double click in there and you can start changing things. Let's go to detailing. Floor plan. Okay, so we talked about the call out here. Another cool thing, this is like a shortcut, you can create similar. So once you load something in, whether it's a detail line, a component, a call out, a section, you can either right click and do create similar, and it'll literally create the same thing you just made. Or I think this shortcut is CS. That's helpful at all. So in your floor plan, you'll call out the corner and the window jamb. We talked about that, I think, on the first day. Like so. And then you can double click in there, and it's already got like my main pieces in there, which is awesome. So I've got a place to fill in and a window. Then my recommendation is you detail it with detail lines. That's kind of what you do in an office anyway. Most people don't like build out the whole wall. So if we're gonna do detail lines, go over that. This is like your view box. So I'm only seeing as far as I let myself see. And this is also adjusting the call out on the floor plan. And then this is like where your annotations could go. So if you need more space for annotations, you can always stretch this out. This is like the size of your drawing. Let's flip this. In annotate, you can do text and just simply add it in. Wall. Like so. You can, anytime you click on something, it usually gives you an option over here to edit it. So if, say, I don't want, I want 330 seconds Arial, I can do that. I can even edit it down to what kind of font I use. I can change Arial. If you hate Arial, you've got options. I would just suggest duplicating it always before you change something so you still have that original family. Cool. If I want to point at the wall, you've got these awesome arrows up here in this location. I can add an arrow, and you kind of work this the same way as you do the section, nothing new there, and then I can add an elbow like that. Cool. Now, you're never gonna write wall, so let's change this to like 1/2 inch chipboard on the inside. And then say, I can't see it, where is the chipboard? You can do a filled region. That is in annotate region, it's right under detail line. And this is going to give you some different options. This is like drawing a shape in Photoshop, basically. So I've got a little square. Great.
The font size.
Yes, okay. So here, and then it'll be up here. And I believe it gives you a fourth, it gives you 2 options, a fourth and 30 seconds. You're gonna want those sizes to stay. So those are good set default settings to be able to see it on your sheet whenever you pull it in. Also, I didn't check the scale for this. I think it's 3:1. Is that correct? Sheet. Yeah, I think those are your details. That's 3:1. Okay. Cool. Say it again.
The paper highlight, can you do that again?
Yes, yeah. So you'll go to, if I want to make another one, I'll go to annotate region. And that will give me like my basic make a shape tools. And I can just draw whichever. Cool. And then you can change this. And then say I called it out as 1/2 inch, so I probably want to make it 1/2 inch. Delete this one. Pull this in here. Like that. And then I've got a chipboard in there. I can change this hatch pattern to the different load ends that we have. But make it solid black. Oh. Doesn't want to change. The width of the wallboard. Like, oh. So you'll double click. And then like you're gonna edit one of the lines. You can click one, make sure it's like going to both, and then you'll just change that number to 1/2 inch. There's so many ways you can do this. You can also dimension things. Let's see, I was gonna do the shortcut. Where is, I think it's in notate. Oh yeah, right here, linear dimensions. Oh, you're gonna let me edit it? So anytime you want to dimension something, it's also an annotate. Oh boy. Say I want to do the outside of the wall. You just have to tab over to it. Usually it'll only select the center line. You just have to tab. Oh, or not. And then tab, and that'll give me a dimension for my wall. This is the same thing for the floor plan. I think we saw this in some examples. I can dimension the floor plan, but it loves center lines. And if you don't want it to do center lines, you have to tab to the outside of the wall. So if I want to move that, tab, move this, tab. Cool. All right. Before we're done, we're like almost finished. We got 10 minutes. Does anyone have any specific questions they want me to go over that they are like stuck on, need help with? Yeah.
Do we have the match with the window placement, everything back there?
This is a good question. So I thought there was a lot of like freedom with this design, and then someone was like, no, we're copying it. So I would copy it because hearing the confusion, I would just be like, all right, this is an A project. I'm going to do the A project. So I would copy it if I were you. So, that won't steer you wrong. You won't get points over that. Yeah, I would copy it. Yeah.
On it, she has to call out the interior walls on the floor plan.
Interesting.
Is that just like,
I feel like that is these guys. So like using the call outs, but hang on. Wall thickness. Section plan, detail call outs, that one? Yeah, so that's your section call out, which we drew here. And then your call outs here and here. Yeah, so, yeah, you wouldn't do like materiality of walls just yet. No. Other things, I'm pretty sure you cut. I think we're cutting through the most complicated part of the wall when we do this, which is gonna be, where's my other elevation in the south? I believe it's gonna be this part with the clear story. Right here. Because in student examples, let's see. Such as blank? No. Oh, never mind. This one. Yeah, they cut through like the most complicated part of the wall to make sure you know what you're doing. Okay. Another site that is linked on the project website is the R values for your installation, because I think this is where you're getting creative in your own, like if it's a yoga studio, do I want to insulate the floor? Maybe, because it might be cold, like concrete's cold. Where am I going to put this? Is it going to be in a colder climate? Might want thicker walls. So like a 2x4 wall probably isn't going to be enough. I think most people do 2x6 as a generic, like for your studs, and then think you're going out from there material wise. So your basis is a 2x6 with creative, like, you know, giving you options. But then you're going to go out from there. So I think, what did I do? I think my wall is about 8 inches. Give or take. And then as you detail it, you'll make like the actual wall thickness. Any other questions?
So you're doing the sections, how'd they add all the details in?
Yes. Yeah, because right now it looks like this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Right. I also probably want to look the other way just for simplicity. Oh, and then how you do that is you can just switch the direction of which way the section's looking. So this is where you're going to use detail lines. So I'll just start like, oh wait, did we go over detail lines yet? Okay, I'll do this really quickly. Detail lines, I kind of went over this. This is where your line widths are. So you've got a wide line. So you're to answer your question, you're going to draw it by hand, kind of based on examples. Okay. But say you want to change things, because we talked about how important line weights are. These are like your generic lines you get in REVIT. A medium line, that's in between. So you kind of only get like 3 line weights. If you want more than that, you can make another one just by going in here. Oh, just kidding. This one's different than the. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3. If I want to manage things, I will, this is just for line weights. So we're managing just line weights, additional settings, line styles, and then it'll go in and have these lines. I hate this page because it looks super confusing. It looks like a complicated Excel sheet, but it's not. These match some of your lines that are already in the program. And if I want to make another one, I can just do new. And let's say I want medium 2. I'll make a new line. If I want it to be really thick, like a huge line, I can do a 7. And then if I go back to detail lines, I'll have this giant line. Fun fact. If you want a really thin line, you'll go the other way. Yeah.
Previous fitness existing line. Businesses anywhere.
Yes. So if this is, so whenever you do a section and that is a thick line, if you don't want it to be that thick, you can either, let's see, you know what I would do? I would trace it. So if I want it to be a medium line, I would create similar, trace it, and then hide the wall. You can, but whenever you print, it's gonna print in thick lines. Yeah. So that's what I would do, and then you can start to move this thing around and it gets really tangible versus the wall, but it's nice to be able to trace. So that's why you bring it in originally. And then I can kind of add like fill region and start to draw in studs, like go here, do a header, la-da-dee, la-da-da. That's a little thick. So I might change that, but yeah. Cool. As you guys start to go through this and you have questions, email me literally anytime. And also I've sent out a thing saying like, oh, I'm gonna change my office hours to this Tuesday. I'm going with the Tusa and John to go look at the construction site on Tuesday. What time Monday would be good for y'all? Do y'all have classes in the morning Monday? Is Monday helpful to like bring in drawings and talk about it during office hours?
One of them probably the studio.
Right, okay, I do too, but the morning would be better? Okay, so I'm gonna send another announcement with like Monday before studio-ish around lunchtime. If you want. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Thank you.